So, hi. I should maybe start with that instead of going into an explanation with this video was be. I should start with hi. Hello. How are you? So I figured we're heading into the end of the year. I seem to be making regular content at the moment, which I cannot guarantee that this is gonna happen. But I felt like making a video about my monthly practices, like outside of like monthly medicine, outside of like just regular random draws or even weekly draws or attended weekly draws. This is what these are readings that I do every month, and I wanted and once a month, and I figured I would talk about them. So the first one is so this is the Literary Witches Oracle. Mine is a very heavily modded deck. These are okay. So I trimmed all of the authors to be these sort of like long skinny cards. And then I trimmed all of the witches objects into this poker sized. Actually, it's probably smaller than poker. Also, not all of them are super like. Hang on, actually, I think it'll be best to like pull back up the one I saw. That I was like, they're not all the best evenly cut. So like you can see how much white space is on the bottom of this hedgehog. Like these are not. Or like with the eye, there's so much more white space up here. They're not the most evenly trimmed. It's not the most evenly trimmed. They're all the same size, so like there's that. But like in terms of like lining up where the object was, I was not the best about that. And I did this shortly after I got the deck, because I saw Don Michelle do this mod. So I edged the witches in blue, and then I distained it, distressed it, not distained it. These, and then same with the objects as a purple. Although the purple, I did a much better job. The purple took better to the distressing, I will say. So this is a fairly new practice. For a while, I didn't really know what this deck sat in my practice. After I did this, to be honest. And then at the start, a couple months ago, I don't know when I started doing this actually, but sometime this year, or maybe it was last year. I could not tell you. I probably, if I dug in my tarot journal, I could figure it out. My tarot journal from the last year, most of the last year, I could probably tell you, but I couldn't. So now what I do every month, though, to the actual like, what reading, I do with this. So I pull an author. This month for December, I got Shirley Jackson, and then I pull two of these. And I use these as sort of the reinforcing to sort of the energy. So basically, I read there's a bigger book that the author that has the same art and all the same artists. I'm gonna use that and I read that, and I sort of pick a couple things that stand out from there. But I always read the keywords for the cards first, so I have an idea what I'm looking for. Like basically, I use these. I read the keywords for the wherever two I pulled, right? So let's say I pulled the cauldron in the book, right? I go to the guidebook, the mini guidebook. I pull up the keywords for those, and then I read over this section, and sort of let the keywords in these be the sort of magnifying glass or lens that I'm reading this part of the guidebook for, the bigger book for, right? And figuring out what stands out to me, and then I write about it. For specifically like in terms of like creative writing, right? And being a creative. I don't always like get around to every month working on creative projects, but like sitting in that energy every month. And the author just kind of lives. I have these like little tiny mini easels. I probably should have grabbed one to show you, but I didn't. And I just use it. I use them as card stands, and I just plop her. She literally sits in front of my like box, the crate to keep my decks that I'm actively working with for the month. And that's where she lives. And she will live. I dropped her. But that's where she will live for the month. So I'm going to start. These are kind of going to be in order, but not really. And you'll understand why in a second. So then for the... Oh, hang on. Realize I didn't grab this, which is important to explaining what's happening next. So the next is the new moon. Yes, new moon. And for the new moon, I've been working my way through this book. This is Women of Myth from Dear Woman Matsawata to, oh gosh, I'm gonna butcher this, I'm so sorry, Amaterasu and Athena, your guide to amazing and diverse women of formal mythology, by Jenny Williamson and Gwen McKenny. Anyway, this, I picked this up first, before I found out there was a deck with the same art and all the same women. The artist of this deck, is Sarah Richards. She also did the art, is the creator of the Magic Mushroom Tarot. There's a couple other decks by her. What I think also just came out recently that's not Magic Mushroom. But anyway, she's done art for a bunch of tarot and myth and things. And I love her art. I also love, so this is from Adams Media, this book. They have also a Greek mythology book, with Sarah's art, and a Norse book, and a couple others. And I really like them. I like them because I like the size, but also like they're good primers. And I also love that they all have resources. So yeah, they're good primers with then like where to go from here. It's so good. But anyway, so sorry, I like knocked over the cords and stuff that I've plugged into things. So I've just been going through, sorry, I was literally just gonna pull. So I've been going through each month a section. For the December new moon for me, it's going to be Freya. So it gives you sort of her name, sort of the title. So this is the Golden Girl of the Viking Pantheon. Then you have the pronunciation, alternative names or alternative spellings, depending on like appearance, symbols. Then you've got an overview, sort of a what's her story. So like talks more in depth. Look at this art. This is also the art in this deck, by the way. But I love it so much. Anyway, and then it'll also give you like a sort of a note. So for Freya, the note in this sort of section here is titled Ancient Norse Sorceress. Or yeah, sorceries. But yeah, so I've been literally just taking a section of this book at a time. So there are, does it say how many cards are in this deck? Doop doop. It does not. But anyway, the deck, this is the deck, by the way. This deck has the exact same number of women, heroes, goddesses, and monsters as is in this. And I will show you now the deck. So then what I do is I pull out any cards that I have that depict, actually, hang on. I've already set up in my journal for this. Sorry, my journal was apparently under a bunch of stuff. But I'll show you. This is going to be kind of hard. I really need to like figure out some sort of like way of doing this top down, but that's not happening anytime soon. So yeah, so this is all of the different depictions of Freya I have in other decks. So this is the Women of Myth deck, Legendary Witches, Modern Goddess, Wild Woman, and then Legendary Ladies. So I grabbed all of those and I printed them in my book. And I haven't done my reading yet, but I've set that up. Just so it's one less thing I have to do because I had time. And then I pull. I read the section. I sit with it, and then I pull an oracle card, generally from whatever oracle I'm working with, and then I pull a major arcana from the major only deck that I'm currently working with. I was seeing if it's out right now, but I don't think it is. Currently, I'm working with the and it's out of print. But it's the Deck of Many Things by Sasha Barrington, which is both a deck of many things for like D&D and tabletop RPGs, but also doubles as a major arcana, and I quite enjoy that. That was technically my first tarot deck. My first full tarot deck was obviously not that, but yeah. So this is what I've been doing for the new moon, and it's been really nice because I get to do a little bit of reading, and I just get to like sit with the energy and the myth, and it feels nice. So then in between, oh yeah, so you'll notice I'm currently editing this deck. I keep this, we'll talk about more of this deck the next reading, because I actually use it more as a reading, but I've kept it split. So you've got the gold borders are goddesses, the purple border is heroines, and then the blue the blue borders are then monsters. And I am currently edging them so that I can still easily note where the sections are in the deck. So that's currently the progress on there. I need to finish the monsters, and then I need to do the goddesses, but not the point. So then I, being a fat person, I have I decided to start doing reading a couple years ago, actually, at the start of my menstrual cycle each month. And I specifically bought, actually, this is the Modern Goddess Tarot, sorry, Oracle, not Tarot, by Ethony Dawn. Fun story. This is not how the color saturation for the so the art saturation on the back of the back is more true to what it looked like when it came. I accidentally left this out in the windowsill over the summer, shortly after I got it. Don't do that. But anyway, these are the backs. So there are extra cards, and sometimes so there are extra cards that I currently keep in the bottom of here. They're more they're archetypes, and I really, not because I don't find them interesting or useful. I just, for a while I thought I was gonna have a separate practice where I used these separately, and I've just never shuffled them back in. But so anyway, so this is also a practice though that I don't look. Sometimes I'm too overwhelmed and stressed by work, and then the additional of my period cramps, that I don't end up doing this every month, but I try to. So I will, I'll show you the card looks when I do. So I pull a card, I like shuffle. Sorry, there's a little bug. It's gone to one of my deck boxes. So I draw a card. I kind of sit with the vibe of the card. I'll read the guidebook. Okay, I'll read the guidebook if it's not a deity that I'm super familiar with. Because the ones I'm a little more familiar with, I don't really need to get in the guidebook. And then I will pick a tarot deck. Generally a tarot. I think sometimes I pick an oracle, but very rarely. That I feel like matches the vibes, or feels like it sits in the same energy. And then I will pull, oh gosh, hang on. Let me pull up, I should have had this open, because I forget. This is a spread that I have, this is a spread that I have changed over the years. Okay, so the current, so it's a 4-card spread using one of these, and actually, so I'll pull a tarot, so I'll pull this, and so, hang on, let's just randomly, sort of, who wants to, let's just pick you. So this will be the card, and then this will be the energy of the cycle. So then I didn't grab the other deck. So I've recently changed this, and I've only done it twice since I've like actually changed this. So I have a self-care deck that's for like anxiety, and I will pull one from that, and that is, what does self-care look like in the cycle? And then the next card will be, what do I need to repair in my connection to in my connection to my femininity this cycle? And then what part of the patriarchy do I need to work on dismantling this cycle? Because I was raised in a family where the term feminism was treated as a feminism was a sin, and equality wasn't a good thing. So I have a lot of sorry, I'm trying to figure out which card. Oh, one of these cards is like super damaged, and I didn't realize it. I think I vaguely remember doing it, like getting damaged, but it's really funny that I didn't. I normally don't notice. But yeah, so I have a very complicated relationship with femininity, and it's something that I'm trying to work on and fix. And that's my current iteration of the spread. Again, it's gone through many iterations over the years. But yeah, so then back to the then full moon, which is when this comes back out to play a little bit more intensely than when this actually gets use, right? Because I will, obviously I'll pull out, because I also forgot to mention that, all of the cards for my then new moon actually go and sit on my old, like, on one of my cards. I have a 5, I want to say it is, card stand on my desk, and those go sit on my desk for the month. I forgot to mention that. But anyway, so then for the new moon, I will grab this in sections, and I will shuffle, like, this whole section, and I will draw a card. And then I will draw tarot underneath. So basically this and then tarot to, like, as a clarifier, basically. Right? Because, like, just it makes sense to me. So it's 6 cards total. So then the goddess will be, what wisdom do I need? I'll just show off while I talk about. What wisdom do I need this cycle? And then, heroine will be what action. The heroines will then be what action do I need to take? This cycle, like what actions, right? Very, like, tangible doing. Because to me that fits, like, the heroine vibes. And then, right, monsters are what do I need to destroy the cycle. And you could use a less harsher term. You could, if you decide to use this spread, you could do, like, what do I need to release. Because this is the monster section, I thought it was really important to have, like, a stronger term to me, and destruction, and it seemed fitting. So what do I need to destroy? And yeah, it's just been a really nice practice. I don't, obviously, like, I've had previous moon practices before, but this one right now feels like the most connected to, like, it's something that I built organically, and it wasn't something that, like, I was using someone else's ideas of what I should do. Although for a while my new moon reading was something I created, and I at some point needed to go back to that spread and, like, use it periodically. But that thing was like a 12 card spread, I swear. Hang on, let me see let me see if I can actually figure out. Okay, hang on, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on, no, because each of these are read twice. So it was 2, so it was working with 2. It was working with 2 deities. So you would pull. I would take my like, goddess oracle that I was working at the time, and I would pull 2. So that it would be then. So then each of these cards are then duplicated because you're working with 2, except for the last one, which is a 4 period. So how do I embody her energy? So you have the 2 cards because you have the two deities. Then you have 4 cards until now because you have had no biology. What lessons can I learn from her energy? How can I actively work with her energy? And then how do these energies work together? And that was another 4. So it was like a 12 card spread. I'm just, holy cow. The fact that I was doing, like, 12 card spreads while I was also, like, living with my mom, who, threatened that if I ever brought tarot cards in the house, she would throw them out. She never found any of them, thank goodness. She did find my copy of a tarot kitchen table, which is how she knew that was a concern to have. But, I don't live with her anymore. Thank God. But yeah, so that's that. Actually, I don't put that. I would say these are the backs. I don't know if I really showed them. For this deck, not like, I mean, they're fine. I kind of like the golds in them, but but yeah, that's that. Like I said, those are, like, I sort of right now have a weekly practice. We thought about playing this, but honestly, I might stop doing it, honestly. So yeah, it feels like a lot of, right now it just feels like work and not something that I enjoy engaging with. So I think it's how it's run. So yeah, I think we'll finish it for, like, December, and then it'll just be done. And that'll be nice. to not feel like I'm forcing myself to do something. So, but yeah, those are my like monthly practice outside of like, you know, randomly pulling cards or doing monthly medicine. Hello, me from the future. I filmed the entire video and then realized several weeks later, actually maybe like a week later, I don't know, that I forgot one of the most important readings I do every month. And I figured since I have, sorry, a bunch of cards right now, just saying this, but I figured since I have the cards out, because I'm trying to get myself a little bit prepped, because the last week of work, the last couple weeks of the year for me at work are going to be nightmarish, so I'm trying to do like as much pre-stuff as I can, that I would just show you sort of. I'm not going to obviously be able to show you what it looks like on the table for me, because my filming setup does not allow that, but I figured I would show you what it looks like in practice, sort of. So, at the end of, towards the end of the month, I already have an idea in my brain of what decks I want to use next month. Traditionally, it's been 3 Oracle and 3 Tarot, but not always, which is important. So it's not always this many cards. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But I take all the decks, and I take the Oracles, and I shuffle them, and I pull a card each. So this is also, I guess, going to be like what I'm working with this month, which I'll still make that video because I still want to, like, there was a whole thought process that I actually want to talk about for what I picked. So that video will be coming soon. But so for the Hellenic Oracle, I pulled the Naaman Lion, from the, oh gosh, I literally just got this deck. I should not, Divine Ephemera. I pulled, oh gosh, Neki. I know I've heard how to pronounce it correctly. And yeah, I probably just butchered it, but like, I also, okay, this is the one thing. So, because both Divine Ephemera and Hellenic Oracle both use, gosh, why am I brain making words? Public domain images. Sometimes they use the same art with gods. And I just love that because I think it'd be interesting to see how my brain. I have a feeling that these two decks are going to be like friends in a very exciting way. There's a couple where they don't use the same art, which I think will be interesting. But there's also one, I'm not able to find it. It's Cardwin. That's same art as a different card in the Hellenic Oracle, but a different deity. So, also, Divine Ephemera is not just Greek myths as well. It is a bunch of different. It's a hodgepodge, and I kind of love it for that as well. Because there's some that I'm just like not familiar with. But yeah, so I pulled a Neki, and then from the, sorry, I'm trying to keep these stacks together. From the Portraits of a Woman Oracle, I pulled I Am Free. So then, what I do is I take all of the tarot decks that I'm going to work with, and I shuffle them, and I pull one card for each oracle. So because I'm doing 3 tarot and 3 oracle, each oracle card gets then 3 tarot. And I don't go with any preconceived questions or ideas. I just let the cards talk to me. Now, I've not actually sat and like processed this, but I'm just going to show you what cards I pulled. So for the Naaman Lion, we got from the Chair of the Divine, the Fool. We got from the Greek Goddess deck, we got, oh gosh, this is Strength. I'm not gonna try to pronounce her name. And then from the Circe Tarot, we got the Two of Wands. So then for Neki, we got the Six of Cups, the Queen of Swords, which it says Queen of Swords here, but in this deck it's actually the King of Swords. I've talked about this card if you watched my video on like my forever cards. And then we got the Hierophant. I love that the Hierophant is Chiron. It so works for like how I've always just interpreted. Okay, I say how I've always interpreted. As a Percy Jackson, something for the Percy Jackson books growing up. This is brilliant. And then for I Am Free, we pulled the Sun, Strength, and the Five of Swords. Again, I just lay these out. Actually, the order, I already checked the photo, so they're currently in the stack of, like, how my brain saw fit to read them and interpret them. But I haven't actually sat down and, like, actually, like, thought about what the cards are actually saying yet. But it's a very important practice that I do every month. Also, because sometimes I think it helps me, like, you know, obviously there's very much a theme going on here of, like, mythology, and lore, right? But then I chose Portraits of a Woman because I also wanted to ground it in sort of self a little bit, like taking these bigger concepts and these myths and 90s have been around forever, and really grounding them into myself. Seemed very important to me. And yeah, so you know, this is a practice that I've been doing for some months now, and I just really like it because it gives me an idea to, sorry, where I was going with that was that sometimes it helps me figure out what decks I want to work with in a pair, right? So, like, if I'm not sure, because I think all of these decks would really pair well with each other, right? But it's like, okay, just on a practical level of, like, one tarot and one oracle for the week, what do I want to use? Having them all laid out like that makes it a little easier for my brain to be like, actually, I kind of want to work with this, I want to work with this, right? Or I want to play with this pair, right? Because I've actually never paired, I've not paired most of these. 3 of these are brand new in my collection, and this is my first time getting to work with them, so it's very, very exciting. But yeah, so that's that practice. This is a very important practice to me. I've been doing it since at least September, if not. I feel like I could, like, figure out when I started doing this. This is actually heavily inspired by Dawn Michelle's vignettes spread. So I will link her vignettes one-shot video down below. But yeah, thanks for checking this out.